Ta-da! I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, where we talk about the comics that we liked best of the new comics that came out this week. This week of new comics.
This week of Han Solo.
This week of Han Solo, that's right.
This week of the, 41st anniversary of the release of A New Hope.
And Empire Strikes Back came out not too long ago. Or it's an anniversary, because that came out in the summer, too. I just saw it the other day.
It's always the Wednesday
Not the
before.
movie, the
It's always the
anniversary.
Wednesday before Memorial Day for the classic one.
Yes, for the classics. All right, and oddly enough, I don't think we have any Star Wars books to talk about this week.
700 of them came out, so there's that.
Yeah. But there are several milestones this week, and I'll start with my pick of the week. Invincible Iron Man number 600. Written by Brian Michael Bendis. Artwork by everyone Bendis has ever worked with at Marvel. And this is it, folks. This is the last Marvel comic to be written by Brian Michael Bendis until he returns to Marvel Comics.
Or until they find some old-ass file story and shove it in a book.
Yes. So, this is a giant of a book. This is definitely kind of an 80-page giant sort of thing, except it's probably not 80 pages, maybe 65, something like that.
It's big.
It wraps up several storylines that Bendis has started within the Iron Man books, plural, because he was writing 3 at one time, right? He
was writing 3. I don't know that there were ever 3 concurrently. Because he had an International, Infamous, and Invincible. But Infamous and International, I don't think ever ran at the same time. But maybe they did.
So there was a lot to sum up here. But the really interesting thing is that despite the fact that this is Bendis' last issue, he plants the seeds for a lot of what's to come, maybe. Dan Slott is taking over with issue number 601, and my assumption is that Bendis and Slott sat down and kind of hashed some things out, because...
I mean, I'm sure they were at the Marvel Writers Retreat where they plot out for the year and stuff.
Right. So, just to give you an idea, artists are
Stefano
Caselli, Alex Maleev, David Marquez, Daniel Acuna, Lanil Francis Yu, Mike Deodato, Mark Bagley, Andrea Sorrentino. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Like, and a lot of those artists get like a nice 2-page spread where you're like, oh, it pops. It's really great. And the story moves around enough that everybody gets to draw something cool.
Yeah, it was everything I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
It was a nice capper on
all of
Bendis's
run. Of Bendis's last issues, the one for Jessica, the one for Miles, they've all been good. They've been satisfying. You don't want that third part. You don't want your last Hobbit movie feeling where everything just makes you sad.
Well, and whether this was intentional or not, this week we get Bendis's last issue at Marvel. Next week we get Man of Steel #1 from DC. So Bendis's first official full-length issue from DC Comics. So there you go. So that's my pick of the week, Invincible Iron Man. It will not mean a lot to you if you haven't been reading Invincible Iron Man.
It really won't.
But if you have, it's a suitable send-off for Mr. Bendis.
Yeah. Say hi to Laura and Roberto. Hi.
Hi, Laura and Roberto, if you're still watching.
Next up for me, Doctor Strange 390. Not quite the same gravitas as going on over there with Invincible, but this is Donny Cates' last issue of Doctor Strange. And it is amazing. You don't have to have read anything that was going on previously. All you need to know is Doctor Strange was not Sorcerer Supreme for a while, and now he's back, and he has a ghost dog. This primarily revolves around Spider-Man showing up at the mansion and a reconciliation between Zelda and Stephen Strange. The scenes with Spider-Man and the ghost dog are amazing. There's also, for those of you who are fans, this is Donny Cates' art by Fraser Irving, but for, I think, 2 pages in the middle, we get a story, a brief prelude, a story within a story, if you will, like Hamlet, where we get a story written by Donny Cates and drawn by the inimitable Chip Zdarsky. It is the story of Doctor Strange magics a spider so Peter can talk to it, and it's the story of Peter talking to a spider. It is freaking brilliant. Yes, so the rest of Donny Cates' run was really, really good, but tended to make my heart sad, whereas this was just a triumph of joy and happiness, and it's good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, we've lost our audience, Josh.
Yeah, we never had an audience. It's cool. Hey, somebody's back. Is it me? I'll bet it's me.
I don't know. It's probably Alex. Oh, we got a thumbs up from somebody. Okay, we're going to stay in Marvel land. Lots of Marvel this week. Hunt for Wolverine continues with a new 4-issue miniseries. This time, The Mystery in Madripoor, written by Jim Zub, artwork by Thony Silas.
Thony Silas.
Is it supposed to be Tony?
And
they threw an extra H in there?
It's supposed to be Sony Thylas.
I see. So I've enjoyed all of these, and I love the character of Wolverine, despite the fact that he was overused like crazy in the 90s and even in the 2000s. And once his origin was revealed, he lost some of the mystique that was about him, some of the badassness. And now he's kind of, at least in Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men, he was more of a father figure, and he's running a school. So he's gone through some character evolution over the years, which is important for people to stay interested in the character. But this is all about the women in Wolverine's life. So we have a team that's headed up by Kitty Pryde. We've also got Psylocke, Rogue, Jubilee, Domino, Storm. I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
From the good guys.
Yes. So they are following a lead that perhaps Magneto was involved in stealing Wolverine's adamantium-laced body from its tomb. And so Magneto apparently is hanging out in Madripoor now. So
apparently he runs Madripoor, maybe?
He's wearing an eye patch. We get to return to Madripoor, where the first Wolverine ongoing series was set. So Wolverine has a lot of affection for Madripoor. We run into some people that he has interacted with over the years in Madripoor. And it was just a fun book for me. Jim Zub writes fun books. Whether it's Wayward, whether it's Champions, whether it's...
his D&D and Pathfinder stuff are
Thunderbolts,
really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great grasp on these characters, and obviously has a lot of affection for them. So for me, this was just fun. It was a walk down memory lane. They kind of go ahead.
I was gonna say each X-lady gets kind of a 2 or 3 page thing where you get her version of what she remembers about Wolverine, and they get flashbacks, and it's good.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how you can write this sentence with a straight face. At his best, at his worst, Logan always knew who he was. For like the first 25 years, he didn't know who he was. That was like a central point in his...
But anyway. You could always rely on...
to be Wolverine,
If you were one of Wolverine's teammates, he would do whatever... He would move heaven and earth to have your back.
Usually when you're Wolverine, he has your back by stabbing people to death. But
no, that's only when he wakes up from nightmares, and sometimes his claws are in you. So yeah, this was great. I've enjoyed every one of these more than I thought I would. So yeah, Hunt for Wolverine continues. I think this is the last miniseries. Yes.
Yes, there are 4
but each
total.
one is 4 issues, and then they just announced this week a one-shot that wraps everything up, and presumably they find Wolverine, and we've kind of gotten glimpses in the 4 miniseries of what's going on, but none of us really know what's going on.
Plus he's over in Infinity. Someone is running around in Infinity War. 2 kind of FYIs. About a month ago, Marc and I talked about Skyward. It is freaking awesome. Written by Joe Henderson, art by Lee Garbet, Marc's dear personal friend, I would assume. You know everybody.
He lives in England. I've never met him.
No, that doesn't mean you're not.
He did the art on
personal
Loki.
friends.
It was great. The Kieran Gillen Loki.
It was really good.
He's a great artist.
Yes, this is a story about a world where gravity's jacked up and how life is in the future when gravity is jacked up. It's brilliant and touching and fun, and nobody bought it, but if you did, check it out. The second part's here. Also out this week, apparently there's a little movie about some dude from Wakanda, used to be James Brown. He's now the Black Panther, and this is a new Black Panther #1, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, with art by someone who is not Ta-Nehisi Coates.
I believe it's Danielle Acuna.
Danielle Acuna, friend and collaborator of Brian Michael Bendis, 3-time Grammy winner.
Acuna Matata.
Yes. So this takes Black Panther into space. I don't know how much of this is in people's heads, how much is real, but it looks like we're a couple thousand years in the future. There's a Wakandan society in the stars. People are enslaved, and T'Challa maybe wakes up and stuff. It was cool. I liked it a lot more than I liked the last Black Panther series. But it's not for everyone, but if Black Panther in space sounds cool to you, give it a look. It might be your jam.
And I really got the Exo Manowar vibe off this one. So if you're a fan of Valiant's Exo Manowar title...
I mean, even to some extent, the art kind of evokes that a little bit.
You'll want to check this out. But yes, I enjoyed it more so than I did the previous run on Black Panther.
Also by Ta-Nehisi.
But I really have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Joe.
And Joe. Thanks for watching. My final selection this week is Detective Comics number...
Final selection.
981. Thank you.
981.
Thank you very much. You're going to be Job? You're going to come out and like do some magic tricks? New episode soon. Is it this week?
Yeah, I think so. It's soon.
That's Arrested Development for those of you.
Wait, you're talking about actual Arrested Development. I thought we were talking about Star Wars Solo and Arrested Development story. Ron Howard produces those. That seems like could be.
All I know is the Toys That Made Us returns for season 2 Fridays. So
and that's all that matters.
It is the greatest
other than Han Solo.
show. It is amazing.
It is the greatest show.
Now Josh will sing songs from The Greatest Showman, which I did watch last week.
You didn't like it?
I've now seen it. No, I liked it. I just have
the music is better than the plot, but
yes. No,
and the plot's not super based on history, but
yeah, it's yeah.
We've diverted.
Yeah, we're all over the place today.
Back
Detective
to
Comics
981.
What I believe and Josh believes to be the final issue by James Tynion IV. And good God Almighty, his run on Detective Comics has been excellent from beginning to end. So thank you, Mr. Tynion IV, the IV. You've written some fantastic stuff, some great Bat Family stuff. I don't know what else there is to say. There are many things to say. He also had great artist collaborators along for the ride. The final issue is by Eddie Barrows, who always does a great job drawing members of the Bat Family. So, yeah, who knows where we're going next. I guess the writer is Brian Hill. I don't know.
Monty Hall?
I am not familiar with you, sir.
I'm not sure who Brian Hall is. But...
Not that means it won't be good, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with the pieces that James Tynion IV left behind. So really, I mean, this is one massive story that started with the first issue of Rebirth and ended with the issue that came out this week. So we've talked about Detective nearly every time it's come out. And if you haven't read it, go pick up the graphic novels or the single issues. If you're a Batman fan, you owe it to yourself. We've said repeatedly that Tom King on Batman and James Tynion IV on Detective Comics is the strongest that the two Bat books have been, maybe ever.
Yeah, simultaneously, probably ever.
Yeah, usually one is stronger than the other, but we've enjoyed the heck out of them.
Real good. Yeah. A lot of last issues this week, or last issues for creative teams.
Yeah.
Last up for me, graphic novel front, we've got Snot Girl Volume 2 by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung, subtitled California Screamin'. This collects issues 6 through 10 of the hardest to define book on the shelves. It's about a fashion blogger and her snotty friends who are horrible, horrible people, and murders and visions and allergy medication, and it is brilliant and funny. It's from the creator of Scott Pilgrim, so if you like Scott Pilgrim, same way Scott Pilgrim had a lot going on. It's a very human story, but it's got a lot of trappings. It made me laugh out loud and snap pictures to text to people while I was reading it a lot. So just A+ book. The first volume's great. The second volume continues to be awesome. Read Snot Girl. That is all.
There you go. I want to thank those of you who tuned in. Perhaps 2:30 is not the best time to do this. We will adjust our schedule and try something new next week. But if you did enjoy this week's episode, regardless of where you're consuming it, please like, comment, and share so that we get some good engagement on it and get it out in front of as many people as possible that will enjoy comics that are awesome. Yeah, that's about it.
Go see Han Solo.
Yeah, go see Han Solo. Don't be afraid. I think some people are kind of nervous about how it's going to be, and I just, even if I hate it, I'm gonna see it. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow night. Yeah. I hope I don't hate it, but
it's like pizza. Even bad Star Wars is still Star Wars.
Last Jedi was bad.
It really wasn't.
It really was. It really was. Okay, so I guess that's it. We'll stop babbling. We will see you soon, and
we won't stop babbling. We'll just stop recording.
We'll just turn off the camera.
Yeah, you won't be able to see us babble anymore.
We should just mic up. Let's mic ourselves for a whole day and just babble.
Yes,
because that would be fun.
Yeah, from a certain point of view.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
See you next time. Peace out.
So if you're reading the adaptation of Last Jedi, issue, I thought you were going to turn the thing off.
Yeah, go ahead and talk. I'll get up in a minute.
But I'm going to talk while you turn the thing off.
These bones are tired.
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah. Moving.
So this week's issue is the issue where Leia gets sucked out of the spaceship in the movie. Spoilers, I guess, if you're, I don't know, dead. And it's all got this internal monologue of like Carrie Fisher, Leia, like thinking about it and like kind of talking, and it was better, worse. I don't know. It was weirder.
Is it like Lois Lane's?
A little bit, yeah. Can you hear my thoughts?
Can you read my mind? Am I dying?